Alrighty, so my name is Amaya.
I'm Quinn, and our topic is tribal voting.
And our topic question is, how are off-reservation Native Americans affected by tribal voting? And we said that this was a problem because of off-reservation Native Americans have a hard time voting because of certain tribal voting policies.
So the definitions of our topic question, how, in what way or manner. Off-reservation, Native Americans who do not live on a reservation. Native Americans, a member of any indigenous people of North, Central, and South America, especially those indigenous to what is now the continental U.S.
Affected meaning influenced or touched by an external factor. Tribal is members of a tribal community, and voting is a formal indication of a choice between two or more candidates, or of course an action expressed typically through a ballot or shown of hand or by voice. Yeah.
Okay, so my article is called Native Americans See Voting Barriers Grow, and the first part of it tells about a 70-year-old elderly woman who has to drive 25 miles each way just to get her absentee ballot. And due to COVID, some people could drive farther than that. So tribes have already had trouble getting their members out to vote, with only 1.6 million Native Americans voting in 2016 out of 5.2 million Native Americans. So which is only about a third of the Native Americans who are eligible voted. So a lot of states have been having discrimination laws towards Native Americans. Like in 2020, Alaska finally got rid of a law where you would need to have a witness sign your absentee ballot for it to be counted. And that law is a relic from a time when Native Americans were seen as wards of the state. When they have to drive farther, that is also seen as discrimination because a lot of Native Americans do not own their own car, and Native Americans were also facing discrimination here in North Dakota because the state wanted a physical residential address, which was impossible for rural Native Americans because they were assigned P.O. boxes instead of actual addresses. And in Montana, people can travel up to 35 miles each way to the post office. In Arizona, there's only one polling office per 306 square miles compared to 13 square miles for Scottsdale, Arizona residents.
Good.
Okay, so my article was on lawsuit filed over tribal voting rights by Amy Sisk, and it is actually pulled from the Bismarck Tribune written 2 years ago. So in this article, I found that a member of the 3 affiliated tribes, Raymond Cross, had an issue when it came to tribal voting on his reservation. He had a spinal cord tumor and he lived in the state of Arizona, but was not able to vote because of his lack of mobility to get back to the reservation. Due to this personal issue, he had filed a lawsuit against the 3 affiliated tribes because he was denied access to receive an absentee ballot in order to vote. 3 affiliated tribes claim that they were a sovereign nation, in which they are, so the tribe can decide what they want to do for enrolled members voting. The lawsuit was also imposed because they wanted to bring order back into the tribe, so enrolled members would not have to return to the reservation in order to have a vote in the elections. In this particular tribe, they are continuing to keep their policy where the tribal members have to return to the reservation in order to have a right to vote in that current election. And with midterm elections going on right now, My parents, they are from 3 affiliated tribes, so they'd have to return to the reservation to get a vote in whatever election it is going on right now. It's for chairman. And for them, it is, it's kind of, what's the word for it? It's like inconvenient that they have to drive 2 hours to get there. But majority of people who are enrolled there, live off reservation. So getting back to like this guy Raymond Cross, he lived in the state of Arizona, but he was not able to vote because of his spinal cord tumor. But there's nothing he could have done, and he didn't get a vote into what his tribe was having an election about. And that was pretty much what my article said.
Okay, so we measure positive, negatives about the articles. She did have a local connection with her article with Amy Siskin from the Bismarck Tribune, who's an AP reporter, good writer, about recent occurrences with lawsuits. And then you brought up North Dakota, Montana in yours, and the hassle in the age of technology, even though many of our reservations don't have adequate internet services. Okay, I'm getting on a soapstand here. But if we can fix 2 of those things, the internet services in the 21st century, these P.O. boxes, we know why that was done. Well, they've also now done some things to college students, and they're stopping where they can vote. Just happened yesterday, and that it's not here, but it was for Beta O'Rourke in Texas, who's running for governor. At one of the campuses, they shut down the voting place just so the students couldn't vote. Yesterday. So this stuff goes on, and unless we do something about it, it will continue to go on. And so, yeah, I've had students report on voting rights before, either in a persuasive speech or a speech to inform, just to get out and vote, and where you can go and what do you got to have, or in group discussions. And there's more to learn. We still have so much more. And then any Q&As from the audience. Anyone have trouble voting in November? You let somebody know. Anybody not plan to vote in November? You have daughters? Anybody? I've got daughters, so I'm going to vote. Okay, thank you.